The golden... My golden age of Strat-O-Matic baseball, 1977 and 1984. I want to quickly go through how I do an individual season draft. I spoke about this earlier. I start with the 2 worst teams in each league, and then I go with teams 3 through 26, and then I go through the expansion of 27 through 32. Whoops, let's put that so you can see it. There you are. So what I do then for the draft is each team gets to open up their current card set, and teams 1 and 2 protect 8 players. They pull the best 8 players out and they protect them. Based on, and then we go through the teams 3 through 26, where the 26 is the world champion, and these teams pull 4 players out and protect their best 4 players from being in the league. Then, this is a total of 24 teams right here. The worst 2 teams don't suffer any player defections. So what I do then is that each of the 24 players then puts 1 player available, their 5th best player available, for a set of 24 players, and they are taken by the teams 27 through 32. These 6 teams take the next 24 players, 1 per team, to get to 27 through 32. So after this phase, teams 1 and 2 have 8, and teams 3 through 32 have 4. After that is done, then teams 3 through 26 take 4 more players to get 8. And then lastly, the 6 expansion teams, they take 4 more. They can even take from any of the teams, any of the team cards left, they can take the next 4 more players. At which point you now have 8 players. And then from here you have the 9th through 20th rounds of the draft. And in rounds 9 through 20, you simply draft from 1 to 32. And then you fill up your rosters with 20 players. And the rosters, I said, are 12 hitters and 8 pitchers. Let's pull aside a team and just see how one team randomly was put together. I'm going to go back to my 1980 set. And I'm going to pull out, let's see, the Kansas City Royals. That's what they were, the runner-up for the World Championship that year. I'll just pull the Kansas City Royals out and see how they were set up. So here's the Kansas City Royals stack. I'm going to pull them out, and I'm just going to just lay the cards out on the basic side first. First thing you notice is the number of players who actually were members of Kansas City. There's a California player, a Detroit player, Kansas City. Kansas City. And when you look at the individual team, you're going to find mostly, there's a Dodger, Minnesota Twin, Oakland, Detroit, Kansas City, Oakland, New York, Kansas City, Kansas City, Kansas City. And this is one of those nameless player cards that I had to make for Ken Brett. Ken Brett, who actually pitched for Kansas City that year. So Strat-O-Matic didn't make a Ken Brett card, so I made a Ken Brett card. And let's see how this team was done. You see there's about 10 to 12 members of Kansas City are on the team, and the other guys were players taken in the draft. Let me give you the exact count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Kansas City players, and then these 8 players, Detroit, California, Minnesota, LA. These are individual players that they had drafted to replace the defections. Now obviously you're going to see, let's start with the offense for a second. Let's look for the 12 players. 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, here's your offense right here for the Kansas City Royals. And obviously, we're going to find in this mix, let's see, you've got John Wathan as a catcher. Pete Lecoq. You have Darrell Porter is a catcher. Pete Lecoq can play first base. Any other corner players in that list? There's 3 guys in catcher first, DH area. Then in your infield, you've got Frank White at second. And then you'll see, obviously, that the first player they protected was George Brett. And this is, of course, the card I spoke about earlier. George Brett, 1980, hit .390. So he was the first player Kansas City protected for this draft. Their shortstop was Freddie Patek. And the utility infielder, Rob Piccolo. And that leaves us with the outfield. You had in left field, looks like Jay Johnston in left, Kirk Gibson in center, Al Cowens in right, extra outfielder Rusty Torres, and the DH of Dave Edwards. So basically, you split the 12 into groups of 4, 3 groups of 4. Catcher, first base, DH, second, third, short, and outfield. Now the rotation, the pitching staff for the team. What Kansas City did this year, they went with a 4-man rotation. 4 guys who went on the rotation, the first being Dennis Leonard, 280 innings. Larry Gura, 2 pitchers from the head. And then they went and in the draft, they drafted Steve McCaddy, an Oakland A pitcher who went on the rotation, and Gaylord Perry. That gives them 4 men on the rotation for the Kansas City Royals in this situation. 1 is left-handed. Larry Gura is left-handed, so they need at least 1 left-handed reliever. In the bullpen, you had Dan Quisenberry was your closer. Whoops. Let's see if we can get that to focus again. Takes a little bit of time. Anyway, let's move these out of the way for a sec. Dan Quisenberry is the closer. Lefty setup man Ken Brett. And then 2 middle relievers who were players for Kansas City, Marty Patton and Rennie Martin. And that's your 1980 Kansas City Royals. The next video will show how I did a carryover league.